All right, let's dive in here.
You bet.
You've given us a fascinating collection of blog posts and YouTube videos, all about Matleenan Laxo's trip to Portugal.
Back in the summer of 2022.
Yeah, it's like she took us along with her.
I love that.
What I find so compelling is that she blends personal exploration with a videography course.
It's not just sightseeing.
Right.
It's about seeing with a filmmaker's eye.
Yeah, that's what really caught my eye, too.
It's a brilliant combo.
The Azores.
With all its volcanic drama.
And learning how to capture it on film.
And that's precisely where our deep dive begins.
I love it.
We're going to unpack her experiences from the captivating landscapes to the cultural insights and, of course, those videography lessons.
She learned along the way.
Absolutely.
Okay, before we get into the nitty-gritty,
okay,
can you paint us a picture of the Azores?
Sure.
I have to admit, it's not exactly a household name for me.
So imagine stepping onto a volcanic archipelago in the middle of the Atlantic.
Okay.
Dramatic cliffs plunging into the ocean. Wow.
Landscapes sculpted by volcanic eruptions and plants and animals you won't find anywhere else.
That's incredible.
It's a place where the raw power of nature is palpable.
That's so vivid.
Good.
Okay, so Matleenan lands in Lisbon first, right?
Exactly.
A little taste of mainland Portugal.
Yeah, just a couple of days in Lisbon.
Before island hopping.
You can tell from her posts that the heat was intense.
Really?
Almost like a little warm-up for the main event.
I like it.
Yeah.
Speaking of the main event, let's talk about Fail.
Okay.
The first island she explores.
It is great.
What makes this island so unique?
Fail is nicknamed the Island of Volcanoes and Sailors.
Oh.
And both those elements feature prominently in Matleena's journey.
I noticed she was particularly drawn to Horta, the main port town.
Oh, yeah.
What captured her imagination there?
Right away, she is captivated by the vibrant murals
Oh, yeah.
that adorn the harbor walls.
Okay.
It's a long-standing tradition for sailors passing through to leave their mark on Horta.
Wow.
It's amazing. That's such a cool visual testament to the island's maritime history.
You got it.
It's like a global tapestry woven by seafarers from all corners of the world.
I love
I
that.
love that description.
And here's a detail that I think you'll appreciate.
Give it to me.
She even found a mural left by Finnish sailors.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Amazing.
Talk about feeling connected to home, even when you're thousands of miles away.
Right.
I love that.
It speaks to the interconnectedness of our world, doesn't it?
Yes.
Even in the seemingly remote corner of the Atlantic, you find these threads linking people and cultures.
Now, I can't resist asking about the food.
Oh, the food.
Did she delve into the local culinary scene?
Absolutely. She raves about the fresh seafood,
Wonderful.
which seems to be a staple in Azorean cuisine.
Nice.
There's even a funny anecdote about her initial panic when she spotted dolphinfish on the menu.
Wait, dolphin fish.
Yeah.
As in flipper on a plate.
Not to worry.
Okay.
It turns out it's a type of fish often called mahi-mahi. She had quite a chuckle when she realized her mistake.
Crew. That's a relief.
Yeah.
I was picturing a whole campaign to save Flipper, eat something else.
I can get behind that one.
Okay. So we've got vibrant murals and delicious dolphin-free food.
Mm-hmm.
What else did Matleenan explore on Fail?
This is where the volcanic side of the island truly comes alive.
Give it to me.
She hikes through the caldera
Okay.
at the heart of the island,
Wow.
which she describes as surprisingly lush and green.
It's interesting. I always picture volcanic landscapes as
Barren.
barren and desolate. Yeah,
Well, Fail is full of surprises.
it is.
But then she visits the Capelinos Peninsula, which was formed by a volcanic eruption in the 1950s.
Oh, wow.
This landscape is starkly different.
Okay.
It's almost lunar, still bearing the raw scars of that eruption.
What a powerful contrast.
I know.
On one hand, you have this vibrant caldera teeming with life,
Right?
and on the other, a stark reminder of the forces that shaped the island.
Yeah,
It's like witnessing the cycle of destruction and renewal.
it really is.
Now, from the dramatic landscapes of Fail,
Yes,
she travels to Terceira.
she does.
What awaits her on this island?
Terceira offers a slightly different flavor.
Yeah.
It has a more cultivated feel, with beautifully manicured gardens,
Wow.
and a UNESCO World Heritage City called Angra do Heroísmo.
I'm intrigued by this UNESCO city.
Yeah, what makes it so special?
What makes it so special?
Angra do Heroísmo is steeped in history.
Okay.
It's been a vital port for centuries,
Wow.
and its architecture reflects that rich past.
Yeah.
What's particularly remarkable is that much of the city had to be rebuilt
What?
after a devastating earthquake in 1980.
Wow, that's resilience.
Isn't it?
It must have been an incredible undertaking to restore such a historically significant city.
It really is a testament to the spirit of the Azorean people.
Wow.
And their determination to preserve their heritage.
Speaking of heritage, she also visits a botanical garden on Terceira.
She does.
What's her experience like there?
She describes a unique feature that completely captivated her.
Oh, really?
A stream running right through the garden with stepping stones for visitors to walk across.
Wait, you can walk through the stream?
You can walk through the stream.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a botanical garden with that kind of immersive water feature.
It's a brilliant way to engage visitors and create a more sensory experience.
I love it.
You know, it's not just about looking at the plants.
Right.
It's about feeling the coolness of the water.
Yeah.
And hearing it gurgle beneath your feet.
It's like stepping into a living painting.
I love that.
Did she mention anything else about the plants themselves?
She was struck by the sheer size of some of the plants.
Really?
Especially those that are typically grown as houseplants in Finland. For example, the heliconia, a tropical flower known for its vibrant colors, thrives in Terceira's climate.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Abundant sunshine, a temperate climate, like paradise for those plants.
Exactly. And it highlights the incredible diversity of the plant kingdom and how different species adapt to their environments.
So she's soaking up the beauty of the botanical garden.
Yes.
But this is also where her videography course takes center stage, right?
Absolutely. She starts delving into specific techniques.
Okay.
Things like panning, tilting, and even what she calls drone-style shooting.
Drone-style shooting without a drone.
Without a drone.
How does that work?
She describes starting with a close-up shot and then slowly walking backwards while simultaneously raising the camera.
Oh, wow.
It mimics the rising motion of a drone, revealing more of the scene as the camera ascends.
That's such a clever technique.
Very clever.
I can see how it would create a really dynamic shot, adding depth and movement to the footage.
It's a perfect example of how a little ingenuity can go a long way in filmmaking.
Right.
You don't always need fancy equipment to create compelling visuals.
Now, I'm curious about how she balances all this learning and filming with actually experiencing the island. It sounds like she's really immersing herself in the culture.
One of the highlights of her time on Terceira is a completely unexpected invitation to a Pentecost feast with locals.
This is where it gets really interesting.
What sparks your curiosity?
Well, I'm picturing this vibrant gathering.
Yeah.
The food, the music, the people.
All of it.
It's a side of the Azores you don't typically see in travel brochures.
It's a glimpse into the heart and soul of the culture, an opportunity to connect with the local community on a deeper level.
Exactly. It's those authentic moments that make travel so enriching.
I agree.
But I also have to wonder,
What's on your mind?
how does she manage to balance all this learning and experiencing with actually documenting it all on video? I mean, I know she's on a videography course, but it seems like she's also trying to capture every single moment.
That's a common dilemma for travelers today, isn't it?
I think so.
We have all these amazing tools at our fingertips. But sometimes the pressure to document everything can detract from the experience itself.
I know exactly what you mean.
You've been there.
I've been there myself, constantly fiddling with my phone, trying to get the perfect shot and missing out on the actual moment unfolding in front of me.
She even mentions feeling overwhelmed at times by the sheer volume of footage she's capturing.
I bet.
It's a lot.
That's the downside of having unlimited digital storage, right?
Right.
We end up with these massive archives of photos and videos that we never quite get around to sorting through.
It raises a really important question.
What's that?
What's the purpose of documenting our travel experiences? Is it simply to create content for social media?
Right.
Or is it something more personal, a way to preserve memories?
Okay.
To process our experiences, to learn and grow as filmmakers?
Those are some deep questions.
They are.
And ones that I think a lot of us are grappling with in this age of constant content creation.
It's a balancing act, isn't it?
It is.
Finding that sweet spot between being present in the moment and capturing it for posterity.
Okay, so we've got this fascinating dynamic at play. The desire to capture the experience versus the need to simply be in the experience.
Right.
But there's another layer here that we haven't touched on yet.
Okay.
This whole journey is part of an Erasmus Plus program.
Right.
And that adds a whole other dimension to Matleena's story.
It does.
Let's unpack that in part 2 of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back.
All right. Welcome back to our deep dive into Matleenan's Azorean adventure.
We were just starting to unpack the significance of this journey being part of the Erasmus Plus program.
Right, this adds a whole other layer of meaning to her experience.
Can you remind our listener what exactly the Erasmus Plus program is all about?
Erasmus Plus is a European Union initiative that supports education, training, youth, and sport. It offers a wide range of opportunities for people to study, train, gain work experience, and volunteer abroad.
So it's not just about traditional academic study?
Not at all. It encompasses a broad spectrum of learning experience, including the kind of videography course that Matleenan participated in.
And this particular course was designed for teachers, correct?
Yes. One of the aims of Erasmus Plus is to promote professional development for educators.
Okay.
Giving them a chance to learn new skills and exchange ideas with colleagues from different countries.
It sounds like a fantastic way to broaden your horizons, both personally and professionally.
Precisely. And you can see how that's playing out in Matleenan's journey.
Yeah.
She's not just learning about videography, she's also connecting with other teachers.
Right.
Experiencing a new culture and gaining a fresh perspective on European issues.
It strikes me that the Azores is a particularly interesting location for an Erasmus Plus program. It's not your typical European destination.
That's a great point. It speaks to the program's commitment to showcasing the diversity of Europe,
right,
both geographically and culturally.
And for someone like Matleenan, who's from Finland, the Azores must feel like a world away.
Absolutely. It's a chance to step outside her comfort zone, embrace a different pace of life, and encounter new ways of seeing the world.
Now, I'm curious to hear more about the challenges she faced while documenting her journey.
Okay.
She mentioned feeling overwhelmed by the sheer volume of footage.
Yes, she talks about the temptation to capture everything, to document every single moment with her camera.
I think we can all relate to that, especially when we're in a new and exciting environment.
Oh, yeah.
We don't want to miss a single thing.
But as she points out, that constant need to document can sometimes prevent us from fully experiencing the moment.
It's like we're so busy trying to capture the perfect shot for Instagram that we forget to actually savor the experience itself.
Right, and then there's the whole issue of editing.
Oh, yeah.
She mentions the time commitment involved in sorting through all that footage and crafting a cohesive story.
I can only imagine.
That's a lot of work.
I've got a hard drive full of travel videos that I've never even touched.
Really?
Because the thought of editing them feels so daunting.
It's a real dilemma, isn't it? We have all these amazing tools to capture our experiences, but the editing process can feel overwhelming.
It's almost like we need to find a balance between being present in the moment and capturing it for posterity.
Exactly. And it's a balance that Matleenan seems to be actively exploring.
Okay.
She even talks about the videos she's leaving unedited.
Really?
Perhaps as a reminder that not everything needs to be shared or polished.
I love that idea. Sometimes the most meaningful travel memories are the ones we keep for ourselves.
Right.
The ones that don't need a filter or a caption.
It's about recognizing that the value of an experience doesn't lie solely in its shareability. It's about the personal impact it has on us.
Speaking of personal impact, I'm curious to know more about how this journey has shaped Matleenan's perspective.
Okay.
She mentions meeting people from diverse backgrounds and gaining a new perspective on European issues.
This is where the Erasmus Plus program really shines.
Right.
It's not just about acquiring knowledge or skills, it's about fostering intercultural dialogue and understanding.
And in a world that often feels increasingly divided, that kind of cross-cultural exchange is more important than ever.
Absolutely. It helps us to see the world through different lenses,
right,
to challenge our assumptions, and to appreciate the richness of human diversity.
And for Matleenan, who's a teacher, those insights are especially valuable.
I agree.
She can bring those perspectives back to her classroom and share them with her students.
Precisely. It's a ripple effect that extends far beyond the individual participant.
So we've got this fascinating tapestry of personal growth, professional development, and cultural immersion, all interwoven with this thread of creative expression through videography.
It's a beautiful illustration of how travel can be a catalyst for transformation, both personally and professionally.
And speaking of transformation, she also mentions that this trip has sparked an interest in future travels.
Does she? Where to?
Particularly to northern Spain.
Oh, cool.
It seems like the Azores has ignited a thirst for more exploration.
It's fascinating how this program, designed to foster cultural exchange within Europe, has now inspired her to explore even further.
Wow.
It speaks to the ripple effect of these kinds of programs.
And who knows what new adventures and insights await her on that journey.
I'm eager to hear about them, but for now, let's shift our focus back to her time in the Azores.
Right. There's still much to explore about her experiences on those islands.
In the final part of our deep dive, we'll delve into her reflections on the Azores and the lasting impact this journey has had on her.
Stay tuned for more insights and perhaps even some inspiration for your own future adventures. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into Matleenan's Azorean adventure.
We've been on quite a journey with her.
It's been quite a ride.
Exploring volcanic landscape,
delving into videography,
even experiencing a traditional Azorean feast.
Now, as we wrap up,
yes,
I'd love to focus on Matleenan's reflections on the whole experience.
That's where the real gold lies, understanding not just what she did,
right,
but how it affected her.
One thing that struck me was her honesty about the challenges of documenting her travels.
Yeah.
She admits to feeling overwhelmed by all the footage and the time commitment involved in editing.
It's refreshing to hear that perspective.
Yeah.
So often we see these perfectly curated travel vlogs and social media posts.
It's true.
It's easy to forget the work that goes on behind the scenes.
And it makes you think about the purpose of all that documentation.
Yeah.
Is it just to create content for likes and shares?
Right.
Or is it something deeper?
Matleenan seems to grapple with that question herself.
Yeah.
She mentions that she's choosing to leave some of her videos unedited.
Really? Why do you think she's doing that?
I think it's a conscious decision to step back from the pressure to produce perfectly polished content. It's a way of acknowledging that not everything needs to be shared or even completed.
There's something quite liberating about that idea.
Absolutely.
Embracing the imperfection and acknowledging that sometimes the most meaningful experiences are the ones we keep for ourselves.
I agree with that.
She also talks about the value of disconnecting from technology, even if it's just for a little while.
She learned that lesson the hard way.
What happened?
She recounts losing some photos and audio recordings when she accidentally dropped her phone in the toilet.
Oh, no.
Every traveler's nightmare.
Yeah.
But she seems to take it in stride.
It sounds like it.
She acknowledges the loss, but also recognizes that sometimes things happen that are simply beyond our control.
It's a good reminder for all of us.
Yeah.
To let go of the need for perfection and embrace the unexpected twists and turns that travel inevitably throws our way.
Sometimes those unexpected moments lead to the most valuable connections.
Like her chance encounter with that group of sailors who invited her to the Pentecost feast.
It's a reminder that travel is about more than just ticking off destinations on a list.
Right.
It's about the people we meet, the stories we share, and the moments that touch our hearts.
And it's about pushing ourselves outside our comfort zones, trying new things, and embracing the unknown.
Absolutely.
And Matleenan talks about how this trip has sparked an interest in future travels, particularly to northern Spain.
It seems like she's caught the travel bug and there's no turning back.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Matleenan's Azorean adventure, what are the key takeaways that we can apply to our own lives?
I think the biggest takeaway is the importance of approaching travel as a journey of self-discovery. Yeah. It's about embracing the unexpected, connecting with different cultures, and finding beauty in the everyday moments.
It's about pushing ourselves outside our comfort zones, trying new things, and being open to the transformative power of new experiences.
I love that.
Whether we're exploring a remote island or simply wandering through our own city, there's always something new to discover.
Always.
This deep dive has definitely inspired me to be more mindful of those moments, to savor the connections I make, and to approach my own travels with a fresh perspective. And perhaps to remember that sometimes the most meaningful stories are the ones we don't share on social media.
That's a good one to end on.
This has been a fascinating exploration.
It has.
And we want to thank you, dear listener, for joining us on this journey.
Until next time.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep into the world around you.